a big thing for me, Cassante can really smash Yone in the side lanes if he's accelerated and ends up getting that early Iceborne Gauntlet. I would love to see a lane spot from ThunderTalk, even if I think the 2v2 is really positive for them.
Once that 6 ticks away for Setab, I'm expecting to see him try and fly in to just blow up Knight with that Fate Sealed. The combo is deadly enough without that flash on the Smolder. So a lot of breathing space opened up here for Setab, who may not be a rookie, but an LPL rookie nonetheless looking to perform. Hoya, though, we've seen this. We saw this in our clips earlier. It might not be on a tank, but Hoya is used to these 1v3 dives. In the early game, BLG execute it perfectly and get Elk first blood.
And Beishuan not quite here in time. Actually,
he
went to go play defense. Yoinked it with a spite. Way actually going to be forced to flash. Setab could rotate.
They didn't know where Hoya.
Oh, yeah. Hoya's going to the hills.
Back in, and Setab is going to cut it off. No level 6, no Fate Sealed available for Setab. And now it's not where's Waldo, it's where's Way. And he is going to try and get himself all the way as close to the base as possible.
Feather.
Will he go for the execute? Does look like it. Way does not have flash. Feather does, so he's going to flash over the grasping roots. Does not hit the Q, though, and Way sidesteps himself to an execute. No gold for ThunderTalk. Passive stacked over top here. Wave shoved in for 1xn, so Elk gets first roam down, and now the numbers are getting a bit better, but there's the 6th level Glacial Prison into the equalizer. Ooh. The combo you called out, Cubby, and boy, does it blow up in BLG's face. Stun locks come across onto Knight, who is still flashless on the Smolder, and it's Hoya to flash secure himself. The 3rd kill, feats of strength secured. Wow, ThunderTalk, what a punchback.
Fight you want to take? I remember watching FlyQuest. The Quad was playing this against TL. They ended up fighting first Grubs. They got 0-4 against a pretty similar comp for no reason. Against weaker opponents, but you can't disrespect the comp like this. BLG really not respecting the strength of the TT comp and got rightfully punished for it. So really bad take from BLG. So for me, a little bit of a mistimer from Beishuan. Meanwhile, BLG on the punish. Hoya, no flash. He's dead.
Yeah, that is the classic Way and Bin combo. Throw out a couple Valentine's Day hearts, maybe a couple ooh-woos from those two as they pair up.
Oh, no. You know, we have the whole series to throw out an ooh-woo, and you got yours out of the way early. This is from producer Kelsey Moser. It is a Valentine's Day requirement. We do love Kelsey here, so we're going to have to follow through on this, unfortunately, for all of you. Anyway, Way, nice sidestep.
Only legs, no follow through on that Glacial Prison shot. The Ash Arrow sinks home, though, and Beishuan is just going to bop Way in front of Knight.
And the grub fight, Hoya did come up to secure a kill. It was important that he actually did get kills because while that was going on, Bin was just farming away in the side lane. Bin is very big and ahead of the curve in this game. He's able to pump out the deep, especially when Hoya is playing stuff like the Ornn or the Scion.
We got a boat race here for first turret. It looks like it's going to be pretty comfortably won by Way and Elk. 1xn and Setab trying to hammer home, but they just can't match the start that BLG got, so they'll grab that first turret, grab the feats of strength, and that'll actually boost them back into that
lead. It is feats for the turret, but look at the grubs being taken by Beishuan, so that's going to secure the upgraded boots for the game if he's able to get that last grub. And 6 grubs can be really big for a Yone comp. Again, Setab, he has options to go into the side lane. You're going into the Kanik Rookern, Cassante, or a Smolder in the side. That's very positive for Setab, someone that is really big, the big standout for us with ThunderTalk. As that turret does end up falling, 6 grubs have been secured.
I think leaning into Setab as an X factor into a 1v1 against anybody at this point is really going to help them, especially when he called out the Blade of the Rune to be completed. But there's the combo again. Glacial Prison, Equalizer, On's health bar shredded. They're flashing on to Way. On gets over the wall to save himself, but the save cannot be said for his jungler. ThunderTalk might look to chase further. Knight going to pull up just to stop Hoya in time. But it's yet again ThunderTalk executing their comp pretty fast.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, it was nice, but there was a lot burned there. I don't feel like it was necessarily worth it, because... hold on.
Ooh, Knight gonna flash away, but the Q3 after from Setab. He is a melee maestro in the LPL, and he just solo boloed out Knight.
Scrubs elsewhere, and they burned a lot to just get 1 kill as everyone got out, but now they're going to be able to pick up maybe a second.
The Ash Arrow was up. Yeah, he's 1 versus 3. How does Bin outplay this? He goes all out on the 1xn. The Braum stack is coming across, though. He's going to eat the stun, trying to desperately get back to his teammates, but ThunderTalk are going to cut him off. Gigabin is down. My lord, what has gone into ThunderTalk?
Early team, but they're punishing.
Now that worry talked about on the sideline. Hold on, they're just still finding catches here. Owen is way too far up near complete fog. He's going to gift another kill over 1xN. Going to grab that one. Beachwan looking for more though. Lands a Glacial Prison on the way. Equalizer down as well. The grasping roots will not save him. 9 kills in 15 minutes for ThunderTalk into one of the titans of the LPL to kick off this series.
Fire off these Glacial Prisons, and there's no contest from BLG. ThunderTalk are deathballing
to a ThunderTalk team playing at a different level right now.
At the moment, Elk and Gigabin, they are the ones that are strong. I think the BLG, though, they've really got to sit on their hands until we end up getting 225 on Smolder. I think that 3 items is really the break point where BLG's comp can get back in.
For the rest of the
yeah, and even that situation's not good, right? Because Bin, he rushed Kanik Rooker, and it's not like he has that early Iceborne that we talked about where you can actually punish the Yone. As, Glacial Prison. I don't love this.
On, gets the crash down through. That's a big Stranglethorns. They're trying to burn the turret.
Here.
Drops. He does survive. Equalizer used defensively this time, yeah, just to keep ThunderTalk safe. And
wait,
they're going to get out, grabbing that last outer turret.
That was kind of sick from Feather. And thanks to our, we don't actually see the Otacon. That's 6K. We're pretty healthy here. It's ThunderTalk. Oh, here comes Turn.
Cool. There's a Glacial Prison, misses.
Same
time goes over the wall. It takes a pretty big chunk
not great.
from Knight. So ThunderTalk, bit discombobulated with their combos this time. Mom raking through as well. Otacon below 4K, not resetting yet, just trying to heal off. ThunderTalk might actually just have to give this buff. Their big go button is down, but the Ash Arrow finds Owen. In goes Saintab with the Fate Sealed, executes wave of 4. Voracious Outcome goes down. Saintab is going crazy on the back line as he knocks Knight down once more, and now Bin is left with all of ThunderTalk. 1xN gonna flash to safety and find the kill. It's an ace for ThunderTalk in Game 1 against their 2-time champs.
I mean, nameplate's off. You think that ThunderTalk's playing like BLG is ThunderTalk. They're here to play. It's a new year of LPL, a new format, and ThunderTalk trying to change the ways of their organization. As BLG, I felt like they kind of got the gambler's fallacy as, hey, we're down. We can maybe flip this Otacon and maybe get it to go our way. But at him, as Gigabin can't move, and ThunderTalk put the rest of BLG in the bin, as now soul points secured, and we're looking to be cruising to an easy Game 1 victory here for ThunderTalk.
The pumpkin carriage isn't rotting. There's no deadly stepmother coming, at least in game number 1 for this squad.
Man, I mean, I cannot believe what we're seeing with ThunderTalk. Even the biggest ThunderTalk fan in Kelsey Moser was like, I think BLG is just going to 3-0. Potential to still get ran over by the Yone, but ThunderTalk do have to be a little bit more careful in their approach as Knight is found. Good flash out. Way, though.
Oh, they do catch Feather with the Stranglethorn, so there's one revive down. 1xN eats a turret shot. He's going to drop his as well. Same time over the wall with the Fate Seal is predicted this time by BLG, so they're able to turtle up pretty safely. Keep their turret, knock down a couple revives.
And 1 to give false hope, and then 3-0ing. So,
good point.
I mean, we got a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces in this series, but memes aside, Baron has been started, and BLG is on the approach. Beishwan, it goes wide.
It's a good ult. Bin eats the Ash Arrow, Equalizer down. Beishwan's flashing after Way. They're trying to knock him down, and he's just easily manipulated. Saintab flies into the Fate Sealed. Elk is able to stay safe this time. ThunderTalk have picked off the jungler. Baron has been reset. Hoya able to chunk on pretty low as well.
Really like it, especially in games where you do get ahead, because you can have this play pattern, right? Take the skirmish, reset, get your health back, return to the objective. As BLG now TP force Baron at 6K, BLG have to do something. No smite.
They're trying to use Gigabin himself to push their way through. He's trying to knock down Hoya, but the Baron is down. Owen is far too low. Going to try and crash himself out. He's just going to crash into a gray screen courtesy of Beachwan, and Bin is left to the wayside. Goes all out to try and find the 1v1, but he just can't even find the kill. Hoya stands up. It's Baron at 2 for ThunderTalk as their domination continues.
On who was too far up, they take what is given to them, take the objective in the Baron, turn their sights into the Infernal Soul. As yes, this is soul secured for ThunderTalk, and they just keep on cruising.
Gold lead over 8,000. Infernal Soul, like you mentioned, into the hands of raw damage-dealing solo laners.
Why we're seeing Zyra really rise in priority with that and the objective control. As okay, Beishwan, that's cleansed down. And on down.
Out of Elk, he has to back up with the Equalizer. Perfect position again from Hoya. The plant's doing work, but just not enough. Owen's going to drop here. Knight stepping up, trying to see if he can get the execute on a Feather. Really well-timed flash to get away from Mom's done and dusted.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like how BLG is staying disciplined by just trying to play the base, because it is really tough for ThunderTalk to break it. So yeah, that might have looked crazy from Saintab, but they can't break this base playing standard even with the lead that they have. So really like Saintab actually throwing himself in there, finding a sum and trying to make a play. Meanwhile, though, Knight Things missing
Boy,
from
gonna flash
Tab.
right over towards Knight, trying to
Knight
cut him
got
off. Beichuan is cut down.
Good play.
Well, BLG maybe have some breathing room as Knight gets himself to safety. They do lose another turn on the backside, though, as Tab was left all alone to his devices. Now, there's a teleport coming behind in the bot lane. Hoya's trying to push the tempos. They want to force out Wei. Flash ult from Beichuan does not hit, but they section Wei off from the rest of his squad. It's the same rinse and repeat method right now for ThunderTalk. Wei drops first. Owen falls to the might of 1XN. And maybe they didn't need the team fight. Just a couple of picks, and ThunderTalk are looking for more inhibitors.
They did get him out of the base, right? And the disaster game for Wei kind of continues as 0-8-3. Wei being pushed, ran around the map by Beichuan. I think big story of game one is frankly, my MVP. It does go to probably Beichuan, even if Tab made the flashy plays. But the Sejuani has been really wherever the team is needed. And now Tab going to try and make one more to wrap this one up.
Bin does interrupt the Fate Sealed, but Nexus turrets are dropping by the minute. Bin's health bar cannot hold for very long as the stuns and 1xn's damage start to stack on his back, but Bin is down. Knight and Elk need to step up as those marksmen to try and cancel out these health bars, but Hoya goes into the stasis. The front line is gone. Tab flying in for more. But another wave brought in, one Nexus turret left. It's the squishies for BLG that need to hold. Equalizer down, Beichuan flying in as they just target the Nexus turret. None of ThunderTalk are dropping, and now they can turn their attention towards the Nexus. Already at half HP, 1XN tried to free fire as the health bars turn blinking, but it looks too darn late here. And what a start for ThunderTalk as they go 1-0 up and hand BLG their first game loss of the split.
So I think that it's a pretty low value Akali game that we have for BLG. Do like that adaptation from ThunderTalk to actually switch things up, and I think that this is actually kind of a hard game for BLG to play. Feeling like he can really move on a mid to have an impact. They're just going to go play for the Dragon where they're a little bit stronger, so we'll be a trade. But for me, ThunderTalk trading up, if you get first 3 grubs, you have this 7.5 minute window where, and also the bonus time before the second spawn of grubs, where if you do hit turrets, you get that bonus damage. And so well played by ThunderTalk. Again, something that we saw, like, I want to give them credit. Yes, this is a weak group, arguably the weakest group, but even with the 2-0 that they've had over EDG and LNG, they've still put together good maps. Like, they've played good fundamental league, and I think that we've already seen some of that in the first 2 games today. So happy to see that for ThunderTalk going up against a much stronger opponent in BLG.
5 here. Maybe probably just hovering, though. It's pretty hard to collapse on to this Rakan and Varus, but they still don't have any summoners. The cleanse is down. They're going to dive through on, going to shift back towards Elk. First Blood going to be traded out there. Beichuan picks it up. Elk trying to force Beichuan back out as Wei's here to collapse. Flash available for the Lily. Flash for flash between the junglers, and everybody is going to end up walking away. Pretty clutch that Elk's cleanse came up right before that dive came across.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's a completely worth trade, but hey, they made the trade itself. Tab, oh, this is a tough window for him. He's going to have the knockback to be big.
Oh, there's the perfect execution. Picks up the kill. Knight flashes over the wall. Beichuan just burned his flash. Can he get close enough to trade? He does. So Knight gets his revenge, but it does end up being a trade nonetheless, and we're 1 kill apiece away from either team grabbing the first beat.
Flash, well played by Beichuan, just being on top of the mechanics there.
Glad we got to see a look at Hoya's. Oh, there is that Leona ultimate landing this time, and Elk does not have any summoners to compete. Throws down the Chains of Corruption, but drops first. Now way over on the side, Owen coming in with the quickness. They should have the knockups and the charms. Way's going to single out Feather, taking a while to kill him, and it's going to allow 1XN to actually end up escaping. So it's another trade.
Lower to lean on some of the scaling that they will have in terms of an advantage. Elk on this poke Varus, he will get outscaled. He will not be able to deal with the Ornn and the Jace as this game goes on.
Oh, 1XN steps too close to Owen, gets the Chains of the Corruption down for 4 Elk, and they're going to clean up there. A bit of an overstep from ThunderTalk, and that's the BLG we expect.
Finding plays, punishing the cleanses being down, and this one for BLG leads to an objective.
Beichuan trying to be a bit nosy here. He's going to hop on top of On, but wasn't maybe expecting Knight nearby. Crescent Guard through for Wei. Beichuan is just cut down and dead, gifting a shutdown over. There comes the Leona ultimate. They are going to single out On, but it's the Rakan who will valiantly give his life. Curtain call down. Can we hit the shots? 1XN. Wei with the Ignite over top. They're just going to gift the double kill over to Tab to get the Jace accelerated.
These objectives first and taken away from BLG. I love what I'm seeing from ThunderTalk today.
I love that you just keep repeating that phrase.
Yeah.
The repeating praise given to ThunderTalk, the way they are continuing to play. And the silver lining of that grub side escapade coming across from Beichuan, nobody ends up getting the 6th grub. And it doesn't seem like Wei is content trying to go for it. So the monster slaying chase has now been cut down. And it's one more for Beichuan and ThunderTalk if they're able to get those upgraded boots. But for now, Feather is getting hopped on by Wei. On did set up pretty well. Drops the Solar Flare defensively to try and hold Knight in place. Perfect execution forward. Gonna get it with the 5-pointed strike. So the pick comp coming through for BLG. They're able to find kills to stay competitive.
Champions that are on each side of the rift. So I do want to see if BLG is able to continue to push their advantages in terms of just the strengths of the champions that they have now. My eyes for that really go towards Elk and On.
Need to secure this Herald at the very least to make sure no feats of strength go the way of ThunderTalk. And they can set themselves up to maybe play for them later. As Satab jumps back in on a Bin, Wei's going to find himself flying under the turret, tanking up the aggro to try and set up Bin. Doesn't end up living, but Bin gets one kill. But here comes the rest of ThunderTalk. There's the Deadly Flourish root and a snipe spear from Beichuan. All of a sudden, that Rift Herald play has fallen apart. And Elk may be under fire from this curtain call. Looks like 1xN is just trying to cut the wave down so they don't lose that first turret. But Beichuan is on the hunt.
Even going down there, still created a positive play for his team as he knew that he had him in the back pocket. And it's going to be a trade of turrets. And with him being able to respond and catch this bot wave. So, oh, hold on.
Oh, 1xN. The cleanse isn't up just yet, but he survives the initial brunt. Elk flashes forward to find the kill, but burns all of his summoners just to find 1xN, and Beichuan will be happy to hop back in with Satab, teleporting in first. It's teleport galore, but Satab gets the fadeaway snipe. Give him a double. No, make it a triple. You are just praising the man. Satab continues to perform, and Hoya gets to fly in with the Ornhorn to set up his mid laner. 4 kills to Satab. ThunderTalk back at it again.
Their main roster and challengers just walks into LPL, queues up for ThunderTalk Gaming, and is slapping Knight 2 games in a row. Satab is playing out of his mind to start this year.
Pit. And with the Nidalee damage alongside Satab, they can just burn through this first Hextech Drake. And we're back to shades of game 1. It's a completely different comp, but still the execution, the confidence exuding from ThunderTalk is now putting us into some very uncomfortable conversations as ThunderTalk are in a spot with everything you've talked about, Cubby, to go up 2-0 when nobody might have expected it.
I'm here for it, man. Let's make things spicy here in the LPL. As frankly, these groups, a lot of them, like we've had a few bangers. Weibo JDG, shout out to that one. You get one best of 5 a day, and ThunderTalk, they're making it worth it for the viewers at home as that Rift gets the second crash, but On lying in wait. He has not been spotted so far until he steps on a trap by Beichuan. And again, Satab just raining down the damage on this Jace. On's dead.
Oh, the solar flare. Oh, On does escape. Caster Curse comes across. This is a blind curtain call. That second bullet nearly found its mark.
Between the Nidalee Jace, and then you have the Jin Leona to set up as well. Really, really strong.
Satab caught on a ward. Knight's going to jump in. Immediately burns a flash and the perfect execution. But like you called out, Satab is too tanky for this Akali's damage. But On able to set up Knight to find a pretty critical shutdown for BLG.
Get On in a position to find angles, which On has been looking for. And now On going to be caught looking for it. But, that's a good trap.
Yeah, he does use the quickness and the knockup to stunt his pick. Wei able to jump in, does have the Crescent Guard, but there's a big deadly flourish. Hoya gets a ton of damage. It's Knight that's caught, and the Shroud does not save him. Satab finds another kill, and now the curtains open up for ThunderTalk once more. The shots won't fall, but is it enough for ThunderTalk to turn on to Voracious Atakon?
I want a replay. It looked like Knight was stuck in that fight. I wonder what happened. Was the rock from the Q on Ornn placed so well that Knight was just stuck between that and the wall? Because Hoya CC Knight completely, and once Satab landed, it connected with the ult. Bin, he's the one that's fed 15, gonna go Mega.
Yeah, he's going Mega, Deadly Flourish, Solar Flare. They're locking up Bin. He has to hop out in Mega form. In flies Own, but he's all alone. He has to dip right back out as Voracious Atakon doing a ton of work. It will actually drop Feather. Wei tries to stump in and steal it, but it's secured by 1xN. Crit shots him to the face. Roots up Elk on the back end of it. Now he's flashing out, but ThunderTalk are following forward. Big accelerated shock blast from Satab once more, and they're gonna clean house again. It's only Bin to survive. ThunderTalk are at it again, time after time. Reset, maybe, looking for a pick. Looks like they're going to force the issue towards this mid-turret. Here comes the Ornhorn from Hoya himself. Gets a 2-man knockup, tries to fly in, forces the Crescent Guard out. On going for the re-engage as the turret does drop, but he's too far up alone. Knight can't get in there, and Own pays his life. Own's Rakan goes off on the gray screen along with the mid-tier 2 turret.
I mean, down against a poke comp, you don't have someone equipped to actually push the sides, get any CC going, and
a Baron threat is on the cards, and we begin asking even more questions. The same question from game 1. How do BLG get back in? Well, maybe a pick here will come across as the curtain call rakes into the team fight. A crit shot lands onto On, but they find Beishwan, trade it out jungler for jungler as Knight is able to get back to safety. But Satab is here alongside Hoya to provide that tank front line, and everybody's going to walk away missing their jungler. All bets are off for BLG. Keep an eye on Bin's Narbar, stacking up pretty close to him going Mega. Flank coming across potentially for Knight. Here comes the Ornn Horn. Wei, Crescent Guard out. That's the key ultimate to stop the poke, but Feather does land a really good Solar Flare to lock him up, and Wei's down first. All going to fly in to try and root up Beichuan, or they do pick off Satab, but it's going to cost them this time round because 1xN can free fire. Knight jumping in onto Hoya, but that's the tanky Ornn. They can't move the conductor. The train's still going down the track. 3 for 1 in favor of ThunderTalk, and that Hextech Soul and Imagination is now a reality, Cubby.
Dude, Elk flashed the wrong way there, man. BLG look a little bit stuck. Like, when is the last time we've seen BLG flood mechanically this hard? Like with Wei and Elk, both flashes being out of range there. Between Elk flashing in and Wei flashing in and, you know, finding a Leona. Not really sure what we're thinking here as BLG is. That's going to be Baron, that's Hextech Soul, and again, I just think that's game. Like, how do you play against Hextech Soul when you can apply it at the range that Jace, Jhin, Leona, Nidalee can, even Ornn if he pops the Ornn Horn. ThunderTalk continue to cruise.
Constantly procced, shock blasts, deadly flourishes, spears. BLG are just going to get cornered and quartered at this rate into the might of ThunderTalk.
I gotta say with ThunderTalk too, and like the way they've played, maybe it's just all about objective fights. Maybe BLG has to play a little bit chiller, but where were you when Hoya was having a higher game impact than Bin?
Where were you when Satab was running Knight in a series?
Like, what is going on?
Well, they're breaking the base open. That's what starts out as another Shock Blast lands onto Wei. Still holding on to that Crescent Guard to try and keep himself alive. Inhibitor down as well as all of BLG have to go for the reset. Bin just cannot get through Hoya's health bar this time. It's not like the early game with the mini Gnar into the Ornn. Turret gonna drop to a cannon minion. Satab is sectioned off here, but he's too darn tanky. Wei can't deal with him. Elk can't get close enough, and Feather's going in. ThunderTalk want the killer blow. Ornn Horn gonna go wide just onto Bin, but it's not needed onto the back line because ThunderTalk are running wild. 1xN just shot Elk into the face, sends him to a gray screen. Wei's running for another inhibitor turret, the slow of the Solar Flare. Can Feather get the outplay? No Wei drops, but who cares about it because the Nexus is the target. Imagine it, soak it in. ThunderTalk are 2-0 up on your two-time champions.
This is interesting to me. I mean, the Twitch Elise with Nocturne, a lot of opportunities for BLG to play fast in the side lane. BLG needs it, being down 0-2 as Hoya. A rat and a Spider-Man, that's rough.
Yep, that's a rough spot for Hoya. He's going to flash, but the follow comes across for Ornn. And for the first time in this series, BLG grabbed first blood, and you can hear all their fans.
Taking the Raptors, and Feather isn't spotted here. They're going to look for a 3-man. Flash is up for the BLG bot lane, but if Hoya can ding too, here we go.
Diving in, gets the taunt onto Elk. Immediately Flash getting the stun. The invis is going to come across, but Beichuan follows with the Vault Breaker. They've spotted out Elk, but he's able to slip away, pushes the barrier out just to make sure he's safe enough. Ton of Summoners burn. You get both out of Elk, but a ton more out of ThunderTalk in general. Beichuan flies in with another Vault Breaker. Great dodge by On. Doesn't dodge out of the Galio knockup, though the taunt's going to land, and they've caught the Elise. The Spider gets caught in its own cocoon. Now it's Wei on the back foot. They're going to Vault Breaker forward. Good spell shield to avoid the knockback, but Satab's here now.
Getting the wave in.
Between Worlds were far too early on for any ultimates. With that wave stacked up, Wei has flash, but not even going to burn it. And somehow ThunderTalk with a disastrous start for Hoya turn it back 2-1. Hoya have been doing in the solo lanes on this Ezreal because if you watch ThunderTalk games, when he gets this Ezreal, win or loss, this guy churns out ridiculous damage and highlight plays.
Yeah, will be something to look out for about this one is, I think Ezreal, like Twitch, it's weird because like TwitchR can almost, like he really just forces you back, like if he gets an attack down at all. But 1xN, I mean, you got to believe that on the Ezreal, the mobility you have this game, really solid as no flash still for Elk. Yeah, here it comes.
R2.
Oh, that's a great play by
pops
On.
out. Feather interrupts all the damage, though, from On and Elk. They execute the Twitch. In goes On for a trade, but it's a double up for ThunderTalk. A double up for 1XN, as we were talking about him in Feats of Warfare for the 3rd game in a row.
What you should be doing is say that, Cubby, this might be the last game that you are forced to fit in UWU from producer Kelsey. Because that's
I was
that's
curious
the
if you had
scenario.
forgotten.
Okay, good.
You got to find a way to fit it in. There's no love lost here for Waze. He jumps in with the first paranoia. I'm going to follow Feather over the wall to secure that kill. There's the spray break coming out from Elk, but he doesn't get close enough for Satab or 1XN. 1XN in his own 1v1 mid lane with Knight. True Shot Barrage barely going to go wide.
The Yuntal, I mean, obviously Twitch has some options. Like, Bork's really good in a lot of scenarios as Twitch, but going for the straight crit, I will say I think I like it this game, just given how tanky his frontline is. And the Q attack speed steroid, I believe it got buffed recently. It's really big.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, and also you get resets if you do get kills. Speaking of kills, Feather, no flash.
There's the invis, yeah. Could try and block up the E to see how much damage he can prevent, but
that's big.
Elk is too powerful. On with a good pick, and
for them, they have to overcommit to even have a chance to move either. So as long as they're able to kind of hold on.
Here's the catch onto that sneaky Ezreal, but it's just too powerful. We called it from draft. Elk invis, knock the lights out. You have yourself a kill, BLG. Executed perfectly this time round.
They do sack the dragon, so, you know, 1XN being off the map,
feats.
not great. Elk being 4-1, not great. Eliol, I think that's pretty worth it.
Now they'll maybe look for Knight, turn their attention bot side. Knight does not have that hijack between worlds, gets out of Satabs. There's the cease and desist down. Flash committed. Coming in is the Pantheon with that Grand Starfall's going to turn with his own cease and desist, but it's not enough. Knight picked off by ThunderTalk. Response coming from BLG, though. Elk pops out of the invis. There's no paranoia available. Wei has to walk himself up, but they've already eviscerated Feather, knocking him down. And they'll make it a trade once more as this game sits on a knife's edge.
That's okay. You'll take that trade as TT. Gold's in a better spot. And also, oh, boy, that's aggressive from Satab. Wasn't expecting that. That's pretty risky, too, because now you're into a 3v2 with Elk hitting. Of course, Grubs were split this game, so damage going to be decent.
Oh, good dodge again. On's really on top of these repels to get away from key summoners, and the Elise proves pivotal. Satab. Double TP coming across. It's Knight and Hoya. They just can't find any further engagements. Hoya's flashing forward to try and lock down On. Should have enough damage. One more big Justice Punch to find it. Hoya's aggression is rewarded with his own kill.
Twitch and Elise. And in the back half of this play, Twitch got ult back up. Oh, hold on. Go back to live. Knight.
Oh, back in live. Knight once again
That's a
picked
Jax,
off.
though.
But Bin is teleporting in. The sleeping giant, maybe awaking from his slumber. Looking to make some impact. Get on the kill score. Counter-strike down. Drops. The Grandmaster's challenge as well, but can't chunk through the health bars just yet. Light's going to go out. Cease and desist. Hero's entrance combo. Is it enough to eviscerate Knight? It does. Beijuan going to trade his life as well, though. His Way's on the front line, and Elk opens up the Gatling gun, spraying through TT's front line. Down goes Feather. They're chasing 1XN. Has to get that arcane shift up. Does get it. Does flash, but flashes in place. Doesn't get over the wall, and Way's going to find it. The first convincing fight win all night long for BLG.
Page's fight for BLG. And Elk is the big benefactor out of all of it. He's going to base and have an Infinity Edge out of base at 18 minutes. This Twitch is massive and might be too much for TT to deal with already.
We get the interesting stat that we've watched both of our 80 carries with questionable flashes in back-to-back games now.
Yeah, you got to pause real quick. Herald being taken. They can maybe hit the eye. Yep, that's a steal, but where's Elk?
Stealing away from Beijuan, but they're going after Elk. He does arcane shift over the wall away from Wei, but not away from Knight, who will eviscerate him. It's a split fight on both fronts. His own pops the repel, and TT are just cornered in the might of BLG. Elk pops back out of invisibility. Bin gets the counter-strike stun down, and this is what we expect from the two-time champs, wiping the floor with ThunderTalk when their backs are against the wall. Ace before 20 minutes.
Honestly, I thought Hoya actually had a decent fight. He found Elk, just wasn't able to get help as the peel was trying to come down for 1XN and not even close to being enough. And BLG just corral ThunderTalk. That's a clean ace. This Twitch is just Thanos already in this game with where he's at. And frankly, just given the state of the game where Twitch is at, feels like this one's heading to a game 4. Elk just, he needs to be the focus in this game, but the BLG just, the beefy front line they have, not enough to get through as Elk.
Wow.
We're back. Yep. Twitch is ripping through people.
This is just getting bloodier and bloodier as ThunderTalk are trying to throw anything at the wall to see if it sticks.
Yep.
And everything's falling plop to the ground.
I can see at least like kind of being a bridge for the Twitch, and Twitch actually is not terrible, at least with base damage. Like, you have some options in lane, but still, I think it's really tough. I'm really surprised that Elk got to the point that he's at in this game. Yeah, and BLG for the next 2 minutes. I kind of expect them just to kind of keep bouncing between these two turrets, and maybe they find an angle to threat. Oh, okay, here we go. Opticon used.
Right on their voracious Opticon timer. They're diving on in as Wei finds the backline. Hoya gets a pretty good Hero's Entrance knock-up, but Elk is untouched, and he is able to step up through the revives. They've got to wave up next to this turret, see if they can crush it, but Elk's a little bit wary. Health bar pretty low. Hoya is a big bad Galio with a ton of health.
Threat down, but Knight keeping him busy. Not the case, and BLG just get to play out the map, as it was 5v3 there for a little bit. Dragon secured, and BLG continue to cruise.
These neutral objectives looking like the all-sale Macy's calls for some of those stores shutting down. 60% off, everything must go. Taking these dragons, that's how easy it is for BLG right now.
And get a pick, and then look Baron afterwards. Would really like that from them. As
Vaultbreaker doesn't get the knock-up, so On's able to get the repel off through the cease and desist, and now Elk can step back up. Knight and Bin have flanked the back line. Down goes 1xN again, not allowed any space, and now they can fight back to front, and there's Elk on that big bad Twitch to burn through the remaining health bars. Feather's the only one to walk away to tell the tale of the mighty BLG. It might not be exciting, but it's what we expected from the two-time champs.
I mean, we've spent so much time talking about how fed Elk is this game, and Beishuan pretty much kept him busy for the vast majority of that fight, and it just didn't matter because the rest of BLG were able to take care of business. 1xN had a tough game this time around. A lot of things that can attack him, as it's kind of hard to deal with. Like, you got a Jax, a Nocturne, a Silas.
You know, the game 4 that we're expecting, even more exciting, even more on the precipice. Another last-ditch effort for ThunderTalk is Beishuan gives his life to the sacrifice. Elk, though, just burns through everybody's health bar here. He does pick up the GA, so even when you thought you knocked him down, he pops back up and starts shredding health bars once more. Maybe looking here to find all the kills. Knocks down Feather, knocks down Hoya as well. Double kill secured. 1xN the last one, just trying to lead the horses to slaughter, but they're heading back to the stable that's known as the Nexus. The cleanest game of the series so far goes to BLG. Down 0-2 no more. They find themselves their first win of the series.
Yeah, nothing like picking Twitch. You're just going 15-2-11 in the game. I think it's an easy player of the game there for Elk, who, and when you pick Twitch, the game revolves around you. That was Elk's comfort zone for this one. He really cashed in on this pick.
Got in a groove, ends up going 0-7-2 on the Zyra, so ThunderTalk maybe look to repeat similar strategy.
They're really pulling this wave out.
Okay, we're going to get the snare, get some laying down damage. The twisted advance is going to be big here for Bin. If he can dodge out. Heal thrown down for the speed up. Goes down for the smash. He's getting poked down before he can even really get twisted advance through. He's going to use it on the minions, but the aggro is not even picked up by anyone on ThunderTalk.
Nice.
So they've done a really good job juggling this and forcing Bin into an uncomfortable spot. Doesn't burn the flash. Does end up getting the trade, though, with that freshly buffed up turret of Season 15.
That's really tough, too, because that play took so long to evolve. Look at Bot.
ThunderTalk that have to continue to find proactivity. They definitely are waiting on a lot of their ultimates, but Satab might get caught here. The root comes across. Wei was waiting.
Yep.
They were looking for a reset. Instead, they find themselves a free kill onto the TT mid laner.
Yeah, big mistake there from Satab, just still not respecting the strength on each side of the map.
Success here. They've been able to really carry it on. ThunderTalk not being as clean. They're going for a pick here on a 1xN with the Realm Warp in. Brings his friends. They get the slow, beautiful setup with that Rise ultimate. Gets Elk his first kill of the game, but he's got to be a bit careful.
They're still down numbers. They're not farming anywhere else. They're missing out on so much in the map. Where BLG, like, they are making an overload of play. They could punish. As Hoya,
and they catch out Hoya. Gets a heal, gets a big speed up from the Seraphine. Zap going to land, though, onto Satab. Going to have to use that Spirit Rush to create more space. Beishuan did steal away the first grub, so nobody's getting a feat of monster slaying. Charm going to land, connect onto Knight. The bolt time does go down, but it just splits the upright. All of BLG mark themselves around it, and now Elk gets excited, can just start firing out rockets. ThunderTalk are just falling flat on all their plays that were so successful to kick off this series.
I mean, this game kind of already looks cooked, and the answer for the mid-jungle duo from BLG, seeing the Viego, the Ahri showing this early and being like, hey, we're willing to slam.
It forces ThunderTalk to guard it closely and
look at the Ryze inventory versus the Ahri inventory. That was an 830 Roa, because Knight already has a stack.
You can play. They grab the Feats of Warfare easily, obviously with the scoreline. Grab 2 first neutrals, so 1 more epic monster or this turret that's already far too low.
Dead.
And as I say it, that's just going to be tier 2 boot upgrades for 11 minutes for BLG.
Yeah, they put Hoya in the sack lane to get Satab out of mid when he was no ult, no flash.
Very impressive to see BLG in a spot that they've rarely ever been in, right? Knight not having lost a best of 5, rarely ever being down 0-2, got to think based off that stat since 2022.
Deal?
And now they look just so much more back in form. And Elk's going to steal away a grub just to make sure they do get those mites. Bin dropping the Nature's Grass down to single 1 person out. Good Keeper's Verdict from Hoya gets rid of Bin, but not the damage dealers, as Knight claims himself another kill, and this game continues to spiral further and further.
This one has a chance to be the most dominant one yet, just given the scaling. Satab, yeah, going to be forced to Realm Warp. Knight, though, ghosting in, the wave crashing. Wave's here.
Up and ooh, Wave flashes to try and get more damage down. Eats a charm, but it's just not enough right now with how ahead BLG are. There's the Encore down to find 2 into the bullet time. They do find Wave for the shutdown. Reset comes across for Base 1, but he can't get the possession. Bin interrupts it long enough to allow himself and his bottom lane to get out. But Knight has to be sacrificed, so ThunderTalk able to punish a bit of over-aggression there from BLG.
The fall. We've already seen how winning the Ryze into Ahri matchup is. Knight's got that in the top side. Everything looking like it's coming up BLG in this one.
All the engaged tools for ThunderTalk are without their flashes, right? It's going to be a while before we can see another crafty Encore fire from Feather. Hoya's flash, we just saw Beitron have to burn it, so even if they wanted to try and what they have, ThunderTalk have to do, punish BLG, look for picks onto them, it just feels so impossible to do right now. So they're just trying to overstack towards some of these neutrals. They're attempting to burn through this dragon. Wei, despite it being on a ward, not content going forward. He might just go for himself a solo kill.
Lulu empower the Jinx, get that attack speed steroid farmed even higher. In both kits, Elk's pretty far up. He does have access to both summoner spells. You can see TT was... Reset. Yeah, TT was looking. Beitron.
Oh, Beitron. Ooh, does bait Wei in pretty far. The charm lands, and they get the root. Wei's picked off. There's another possession. Beitron going forward, trying to see if he can get a Sonic Wave. Satab gets the reset on the Spirit Rush. They're pushing the tempo. Charm going to force Elk to cleanse it. Immediately fires out the rocket. Fade away Mega Death Rocket. Finds the kill on the Satab, but it sacrifices Knight. Beitron going in. Heartbreaker trying to cut down the angle onto On.
TPing in. They're going to think about contesting the Herald in the long run. Knight doesn't have TP. Yeah, no way. Okay. Again, I think TT, like, they have to force now. I don't think things get better for them, so good find. BLG, they're a little bit far up and not respecting some of the power that TT has. What's Beishwan cooking over here with the Dirk?
Is that, are we going? I thought Collector, but there's a Ruby Crystal, so is that Sterak? Does Sterak? No, Sterak doesn't have a dagger.
What's the shield item called? Lethality?
Oh.
I think it's that one.
Experimental Hexplate?
Nope. The Lethality one that gives you the shield that Varus goes. Anyway, we're clubbing his casters here. Beishwan up. He flies forward.
Oh my god, he flashes to get the stun.
Heartbreak's
over. Somehow gets out, and it's On to die again. Knight's going to fall as well, trying to get back to his Realm Warp. Satab's flashing after On, waiting for his charm to come back up. Feather's going to land the root over the wall. Where did this come from? 3 kills out of nowhere for ThunderTalk. They are not going down quietly.
They're doing their job, and meanwhile, BLG just kind of way too far up in the TT jungle, not respecting yet again in a game that, again, I really feel like should be put away cleanly by BLG, given some of the leads they had earlier. A little bit sloppy, a little bit disrespectful in the back half, and TT gonna punish rather well. That's 2 outers that are gonna fall. I think they dropped the dragon in the back half. They do have to base and respond. Up with the Jinx just kind of leads to something awkward all around.
That's the second kick from Wei, by the way, that
where he died.
He dies and he doesn't
accomplish
the kick he wants.
ThunderTalk don't want to fight. Of course, any kill that they get, diminishing returns compared to what they would be giving over if BLG were to trade out. So Ocean Dragon goes over to BLG.
Don't really lose much except tempo and map control, which you'll take in the face of that buff as it ticks away off of all 5 members of BLG.
Yeah, I mean, still like
BLG.
BLG.
We'll see. There's can't really be a Baron threat yet. The 25-minute mark, so 30 seconds away. Realm Ward coming down onto 1xN. It's Knight and Wei who gets the Ward Hop kick flash combination. That's why you lock into Lee Sin. 1xN didn't have a chance in the world.
And with no MF, 1xN will have Infinity Edge and Bullet Time on respawn. Down their 80 carry, you're going to look to contest.
Give this verdict. Very valuable ultimate for Hoya to see who he can boot out. Charging it up. Everybody on BLG respecting it. Canceled by the twisted advance, and now Hoya's caught in the middle of all of BLG, but Own just gets eviscerated by Beishwan, gets his first reset, but the Lulu's not as useful as he would like, so he ends up falling, and Baron does not reset its health bar, so it's going to be secure there for BLG on to 4. He's not going to make that mistake, so now the Dragon can commence and be properly shredded by the dicer that is Elk on 3 items of the Jinx. Nature's Grass. Hoya doesn't commit to keep his verdict once more. First inhibitor turret down. ThunderTalk got to take a chance, make a stand here. Beishwan commanding the front line, gets a stun down. Death Rocket throws out from Elk, and force Beishwan back to the base as the inhibitor falls next. And Knight had his own little vacation in the mid lane. Going to find himself another turret. Structures falling like paper mache right now for ThunderTalk. They're going to have to find a stand. They're going to try to attempt the impossible. Dumped by Cubby, but Bin does just not fall. Beishwan down first. Elk gets the reset, and now it's time to drop the hammer. Rockets after rockets, and we are going the distance, folks. 5 games between ThunderTalk and BLG for the top seed out of Group C.
Not exactly what we were expecting going into the night, but hey, I'm here for it. Good to see BLG paying a little bit more respect to ThunderTalk and playing out their comps rather well. Really like the pivot they had in this draft to pair up the opening of the Maokai, Jinx, Lulu. That's a really solid core you can play around, and it will be Night Syndra. You can buy a lot of space for Xayah. I very, 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 very much prefer BLG's draft, and I just don't know why we first picked Camille. Bin's walking up, but is behind Hoya, so TT is going to start this up. Feather being 3, not ideal, but if they get 1 grub, he might get 4.
See if the respect's being given by BLG with the man advantage. Dredgeline going to land on. Here comes Satan with Aaliyah in the background. Elk is sectioned off with the Hextech Ultimatum, holding Wei at bay. But they're just going to knock down the Taric, grab first blood. Bin arriving on the backside, going to pop the World Ender. Does have to flash away from a Dredgeline. The rest of BLG just can't get towards him to help support. So it's going to be first blood and first 3 grubs, 2 steps towards 2 different feats for ThunderTalk.
That's great for ThunderTalk, and I like how they played that one out. Again, looking at the map, Bin was behind Hoya, the CDR point in Inspiration Tree, so that's actually good. And now, another play.
Here, On takes a pretty big amount of damage. They're going to flash out. There goes the Cyclone, but On is already down. Teleport's coming in from behind. Way going to channel the next Cyclone, but 1xN has the Kai'Sa ultimate, dashes in to find the kill, grab the feats of warfare. In comes Knight to try and find the trade on a Beishwan, but he just doesn't have enough in the tank. ThunderTalk walk away with the opening 3 kills.
Yeah, again, a team that has only won 3 best of 5s in their history. Their best finish was Spring 23. They took 8th overall. A win here gets them top 8 already in the takedown. The 2-time defending champion BLG, and what would be the biggest upset of the season so far would be huge, but Satan flashes away.
Yeah, Satan gets away from Wei. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance. ThunderTalk can wait this out. They haven't committed any key ultimates. They've got Wei just completely sectioned off. Hextech Ultimatum, they burn through Wei's health bar. The sleep lands onto Bin. He pops the World Ender, but he's in the face of the might of 1xN. 3 more kills for ThunderTalk as they've re-woken up in this series when they needed to most.
Things go soon, or else they're going to be in tough shape this game. Again, staring down the barrel of this 1xN Kai'Sa that is so far ahead of the curve of the game.
They catch 1xN on that reset, but Hoya's B1 Camille in a fight against Bin, and 1Q2 might secure him the solo kill. Giga Bin goes down to Hoya's Camille. Cyclones, and at least at this current point, all 5 flashes are up for ThunderTalk as they look to hunt down Bin, who uses the World Ender just for a speed up. He's forced off this turret. That should be first turret claimed, and the feat secured for ThunderTalk. As Bin, like it dove here, eats a lilting lullaby, Gonna hit the dredge line over top, and they grab the kill as well. They've got grubs. They're gonna take a tier 2 alongside it.
I love this. I've actually been so salty that LTA North teams have not been overloading with 6 grubs or like grub advantage, and TT just did so perfectly in this game. They got mid-prio, shifted the Talia Nautilus up, played as 4. Metals we talked about earlier in the day, like TT, they took down EDG and LNG, 2 teams that were pretty weak looking back, right? But it's not like TT, won those games off of just AFKing one of those teams into them. They were proactively making good plays off of Beishwan and Feather syncing up, and Satab being the hero of this team. And again, in this game, like we've seen TT play with good direction for the majority of the day from Hoya and TT. And of course, B1 Camille, I mean, you got to have some cojones to throw that one down, especially into bin. Didn't get the Fiora, got the Aatrox, and it doesn't matter. He's making this one make sure it looks like it's in his favor with the rest of his team. And I mean, TT just gets to cruise the map now. They got 6 grubs. You have a Camille to pressure. You have a Talia that can pressure both sides. And look at them. Again, playing 2 lanes. Mid into bot, shift the power down there. They don't even need the shift power down there because Bin can't even approach the wave because of how much threat Satab, Beishwan, Feather have in the bot side jungle of BLG as BLG continue to bleed out and lose.
Drop a Herald, find yourself your 4th turret of the game. BLG just have to sack so much, and all the mites just rise on out. Drop the Weaver's Wall. We're going for more. Second crash comes across. Satab gets a huge seismic shove that Elk forces Elk's cleanse out. They do get a Scour of the Week on a base wall, but he flashes away from the Cyclone. He's able to get to safety, and they're leaving what I said is just shred through way. Jungler down. Another seismic shove on Elk. You can't cleanse it this time. The walls are closing in on your 2-time champions, minute by minute, skirmish by skirmish.
And Wei and On split again as Wei flashed to go in. No Cosmic Radiance. They needed it that time as On.
Yep, he definitely wanted it there. Blown up. See you later. Tier 2 turret to follow.
And I mean, the Titans of the LPL, BLG, have here in LPL, only get 1 best of 5 Fearless tonight. Both these teams making the most of it, especially ThunderTalk. Surprising everyone with a performance like this. Again, I thought saying it was going to be 3-1 BLG, I thought it was in the minority, thinking that ThunderTalk would even get a game, but looking at the tape, I had enough faith. Yeah, I mean, I got to say, Knight's been the best performer for BLG tonight. I do feel like even with Satab having really sound games, it's not like Knight's had any stinkers. And they're going to need a heroic performance out of the Cinder here, as BLG Desperation Otacon has been started. Weaver's Wall. At least make them think about it. Hoya's going to have to step out of that bot lane to try and TP. We'll see if Bin goes for the cancel. If he cancels the TP, it's going to be huge.
Not going to get it off.
Feather.
You have to TP behind, below 5k, but BLG, they can't stay. They do get it to reset.
I mean,
but
TT don't need to do anything here. They just need to kind of play for chip damage and chunks. I actually think this formation is not the best for them. They kind of need to go. Knight can really threaten here.
Trying to set up flanks on, gets 1xN's flash out, but he's going to get blown up before the Cosmic Radiance can come down. 1xN finds the first kill. Bin's being heralded by Hoya, just cannot get to the rest of TT. Dredgeline going to land, the Blade Caller is going to burn through Feather's health bar. In goes Hui onto Beishwan, but he goes into the stasis. Big Scatter of the Week, but there's just not enough in the tank for BLG. Voracious Otacon down in the name of ThunderTalk. Elk and Knight cornered. Be damned, your 75% win rate. 4 kills. Beishwan looking for the 5th. There it is. Ace ThunderTalk in the do or die game 5.
As Feather, the E flash was sidestepped by Feather on the Nautilus, and On just got smoked after that coming into the night. And the way that ThunderTalk has played, like, this is a team that really, I feel like, you kind of called it out, has somewhat of an identity. And outside of like a couple drafts, like bad grubs fights, and BLG like really disrespecting them, it's been very one-sided.
Here we go, Beishwan looking for that killer blow. Onto On, gets the sleep. Elk slowed up. Scout of the Week from Knight is big on the back line, but nobody else from BLG can really get to those carries. Way off to the side, trying to swing in with a seismic shove onto Bin. Knocks him down, sends him to the gray screen. Dredgeline onto Wei. That's not the Trickster. That's the Wukong. In goes Hoya. In goes 1xN. They find the next 4 kills with the grubs. They can go for it. They can do it. ThunderTalk talk their talk against LNG. Thunder stomped their way through EDG, but they just Thunder cemented themselves with one of the biggest upsets over your 2-time champions, your Group C #1 seed, ThunderTalk.
I cannot believe what we saw tonight with ThunderTalk putting up scoreboards against BLG that no one would have dreamed they were able to do coming into the day.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.